So if you've seen my Instagram reel where I made a quick, super quick fabric bunting fabric banner that I used at craft shows and for decorating around the house and stuff, I just went through it really quickly on there, and so I just wanted to do a video to kind of slow it down and show you step by step exactly how I did it. So the first thing I had is I made this little template, and I just used a plain 8.5 by 11 piece, letter size piece of paper. What I did was I folded it in half, so your center point down here is going to be at 4.25 inches. And then I measured down 3 inches from the top on each side, made a diagonal line down to that center point, and then trim that off. And that's it. If you want to make your own template, that's all I did. I'm going to go ahead and mock this up and make it as a download in the description of this video. So if you'd rather just print it off, that'll be available too. One quick thing I wanted to add is another option you can do is cut your template out of this. It's like a real thin cutting mat, and I just got it from the dollar store. What you can do is you can just cut your template out of that, and it helps to save, well, it lasts a little bit longer because sometimes the paper wears out pretty quickly, or you trim it or cut it, and then you have to make another one. But also what I like about this one is if you have fabric that you want to fussy cut, say you want a design that's going to be right in the center of your flag, this is really useful for laying on top of that fabric and then cutting out. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut out for each flag. You're going to need 2, and then you're going to place them right sides together. Okay, so once you get all those cut out, you're going to place them right sides together, and then you're going to stitch down and then back up, leaving the top edge unstitched because this is where you're going to turn it through. So again, just stitching down the sides and then down to that center point. You're going to do that for each flag, and then as many flags as you want. If you want to make more than one banner, yeah, it's really up to you how many you want to make, but you'll need 2 of these for each flag that you're going to make for your banner. Okay, once you get that stitched down, I did black here just as a contrasting thread so you could see where it goes. It was at 1/4 inch seam allowance. So once you get that stitched down, you're going to go ahead and trim the edges. And I'm just going to use my rotary cutter here. You can use regular scissors or a rotary cutter, whatever you're most comfortable with. And really just at the points, I just kind of trim it down to get a little bit of that bulk out of the corners. Okay, once you have that trimmed, you're going to turn it through to the right side. And then if you have a turning tool or a little poker that you can use, I'm just going to use this pen. You just poke out those corners until you get them, let's see, till you get them nice and pointed, however you want them to be. Let's see, I'm going to look for, usually I use a little knitting needle. This is just a bamboo knitting needle, and that helps me really get into that corner. All right, so once that corner point is how you want it, you're going to take this over to the ironing board and you're going to iron it. And then once you get that ironed, you're going to leave, of course, the top is open still. You're going to take it back to the sewing machine and top stitch it around these 3 sides again at 1/8 inch. One little side note, before you do that top stitching, you are going to want to just turn this inside in, just this top edge. You just want that in about 1/4 inch. That's, let's see. You just want to turn in about 1/4 inch all the way around. And then once you get that turned in, you'll press that down. Just make sure you do this part first and then top stitch along these 3 sides, or 4 sides, I guess, these 2 short ones, and then down to the point. So again, you're going to turn it through, poke out the corners, give it a nice press, turn that top seam in about 1/4 of an inch, press that. Once you get everything pressed, then you're going to top stitch around. Okay, you can see that it's top stitched all the way around. Then that seam is folded in. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn it over. If it matters, whichever side you want to be your front, you're just going to turn that over so it is the back side is facing up. And what you're going to do is you're going to take each corner and fold it down. So this corner is going to come down to this point, and you can clip it in place right there. And then on this side, you're going to take this corner and fold it down to that point. Clip it in place. And if you want to hold a couple more at the top, you can do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over. You can stitch from this side if you want. What you're going to do is just stitch right along this edge. If you prefer to stitch from the front side, you know, this is about, let's see, if it's about 1 inch that you're stitching down. And then what you're doing is you're closing this top opening, and then you're creating the casing where you're going to slide your ribbon through to hang your flag from. Okay, so here's that top stitched right at about 1 inch down. Here's the back side. As you can see, it catches that and it closes that opening. And then this is your channel where you're going to thread your ribbon through, or your string, or whatever you're going to use to hang it from. So I'm going to go ahead and make up the rest of these, and then we'll string it and we'll be done. All right, guys, now that you have all of your flags made and they're all stitched, so you have the channel on all of them, all you need to do now is take your ribbon or twine or whatever you want to use to hang it from, and then you're going to thread it through the channel. So I just have this little tool here. You can use a safety pin or something that will help you to thread it through, and then you're just going to put it through the channel. There you go. And then grab your next one. And keep doing that all the way until you have them all threaded, and then you'll be able to hang it up. Alright guys, I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and let me know what other kinds of tutorials you would like to see.